Ben Whitaker's recent fight has become one of the most talked about moments in boxing, with many calling it one of the most humiliating defeats in recent history. Known for his flashy style and viral videos showcasing his showmanship in the ring, Whitaker's latest bout ended in a stunning downfall, leaving fans and critics questioning the hype surrounding him. To understand the gravity of this event, we must revisit Whitaker's journey from his amateur beginnings to his professional career. Early influences and amateur career. Whitaker's passion for boxing was instilled by his father, who had competed as an amateur before an injury ended his career. Despite financial struggles, his father worked 2 jobs to support the family and introduced Ben to his own coach and godfather, Joby Clayton. Clayton, who had also trained Anthony Joshua during his amateur days, offered young Ben discounted training sessions, enabling him to hone his skills despite limited resources. Ben quickly rose through the ranks, and at 15, he faced a pivotal decision between football and boxing. After a heartfelt discussion with his father, he committed fully to boxing. His hard work paid off in 2019 when he earned a bronze medal at the World Championships in Yekaterinburg. The following year, he qualified for the Tokyo Olympics, representing Team Great Britain. Postponed to 2021 due to the pandemic, the Olympics saw Whitaker defeat Brazil's Kino Machado in the quarterfinals and Russia's Imam Kataev in the semifinals. However, he narrowly lost the gold medal match to Cuba's Arlen Lopez. Whitaker stirred controversy by refusing to wear his silver medal at the podium, expressing frustration at what he perceived as a failure. He later apologized, admitting his mistake and acknowledging the significance of the medal for his country. While he initially promised to return for another Olympic run, he decided to turn professional after consulting with his family and team. Transition to professional boxing. Whitaker made his professional debut on July 30th, 2022, in Bournemouth, UK, training under Sugar Hill Stewart at the renowned Kronk Gym in Detroit. His debut opponent, Greg O'Neill, had a modest record of 6 wins and 6 losses. Whitaker, standing 11 centimeters taller with a 191-centimeter reach, dominated the fight, showcasing his skill and flamboyance. However, his flashy antics raised eyebrows, as he appeared to mock his opponent, a move seen as disrespectful within boxing circles. In professional boxing, there exists a well-established hierarchy: boxing superstars, regular boxers, and journeymen. Journeymen play a crucial role in the ecosystem, providing rising stars with valuable experience. While they rarely pose a threat, their presence helps prospects develop and acclimate to the professional stage. Despite this, Whitaker's approach often disregarded the unwritten code of respect, using his fights against journeymen to showboat and entertain rather than to build his skills. This disregard for boxing etiquette set the tone for his professional career. Although Whitaker continued to win fights, his overconfidence and lack of defensive discipline became increasingly apparent. These flaws culminated in his most recent bout, where he faced a much slower opponent but was ultimately overwhelmed, humiliated, and even thrown out of the ring. Whitaker's journey serves as a cautionary tale, highlighting the importance of humility, respect for the sport's traditions, and a focus on fundamentals. His potential remains undeniable, but his path forward will depend on whether he can learn from this setback and evolve as a fighter. At one point in the fight, Ben Whitaker ducked under an attack and theatrically lifted Greg O'Neill as if carrying a bride, visibly irritating his opponent. From there, Whitaker began to entertain the crowd, showcasing flashy uppercuts and body shots that took a visible toll on O'Neill. With the upper hand, Whitaker started showboating, playing to the audience while delivering punishing blows. By the second round, a well-placed right cross landed flush on O'Neill's head, sending him to the canvas and sealing the victory for Whitaker. Less than a month later, despite injuring his shoulder in training, Whitaker agreed to fight on the undercard of the Anthony Joshua rematch in Saudi Arabia. He faced Croatian Petar Nosic, a fighter he had defeated by TKO 7 years earlier in an amateur bout. Nosic entered the fight with an undefeated record of 6 wins, though against less challenging opponents. Taking a cautious approach due to his injury, Whitaker maintained distance, systematically picking apart Nozick, who seemed ill-equipped to handle the weight class. The fight went the distance, and Whitaker secured a unanimous decision victory. After nearly a year-long break to recover from his injury, Whitaker returned on May 6, 2023, to face fellow Brit Jordan Grant. Interestingly, Grant had fought and lost to Tommy Fury 2 years earlier. Whitaker entered the ring in leopard print robes and shorts, paying homage to Naseem Hamed, to whom he is often compared. Displaying cat-like agility, he immediately took control, targeting Grant with sharp jabs and punishing body shots, all while dazzling the audience. Whitaker's relentless assault overwhelmed Grant, who struggled to survive the onslaught. In the third round, a check hook left Grant staggering, prompting his corner to throw in the towel. On July 1, 2023, at the Manchester Arena, Whitaker faced Slovak gatekeeper Vladimir Belinsky, the most experienced opponent of his career, boasting a record of 13 wins and 6 losses. The fight was scheduled for 8 rounds, and Whitaker opened aggressively, applying pressure with precision punches. By the third round, Whitaker had Vladimir on the defensive, landing a barrage of powerful blows and knocking him down with a right hand. By the midpoint, Belinsky was visibly fatigued, allowing Whitaker to shift focus and work on defensive techniques and strategies. In the 7th round, Whitaker's corner encouraged him to step up the intensity, and he obliged, landing relentless combinations. In the 8th and final round, a precise right to the jaw caused Belinsky to stagger, and after a final flurry of punches, the referee stepped in to end the fight. On December 10, 2023, Whitaker faced Stephen Lynard, an Albanian-Italian fighter with a record of 11 wins and 2 losses. Making a dramatic entrance alongside a ballerina in a black balaclava, Whitaker stepped into the ring to somber piano music. From the opening bell, he displayed sharp timing, landing crisp jabs and quickly reading his opponent's movements. Whitaker began to toy with Lynard, boxing with his hands down while delivering punishing blows. In the 2nd round, he ducked under a jab and landed a precise hook to the temple, followed by a clean uppercut. The round ended with some sharp exchanges and posturing after the bell. Enraged, Whitaker came out in the 3rd round with a vengeance, unleashing heavy combinations that left Lynard bloodied. After a brutal counterattack, Lynard took a knee and Whitaker eased off, firmly asserting his dominance in the fight. During the fight, Ben Whitaker felt pressured to show off for the cameras, which frustrated the referee, who repeatedly stopped the action to urge the boxers to focus on the fight. In the 4th round, Whitaker nearly landed a devastating uppercut hook combination, missing by mere centimeters. In the 5th round, he delivered a crushing body shot to his opponent's spleen, forcing him to retreat. Whitaker followed with a relentless barrage of crosses and hooks, ultimately causing his French opponent to collapse against the ropes. The referee stopped the fight to spare him further punishment. This victory brought Whitaker viral fame, with highlight reels generating millions of views and over 100,000 new followers on social media within 24 hours. His opponent, 41-year-old French journeyman Ked Gradia, faced Whitaker at London's Wembley Arena. Whitaker dominated, dazzling the crowd with flashy combinations and precision body shots, including a liver punch that visibly debilitated Gradia. Despite Gradia surviving into the 8th round, Whitaker's relentless attacks left the Frenchman defenseless, prompting the referee to stop the fight as Gradia slid down the ropes. On March 31, 2024, at London's O2 Arena, Whitaker fought Leon Willings. Whitaker started strong, pinning Willings in the corner with powerful punches and scoring an early knockdown. Although Willings adjusted his strategy to focus on defense in subsequent rounds, Whitaker's pressure was relentless. By the 8th round, Whitaker's conditioning began to falter, and while the bout lacked a dramatic finish, he secured a decisive win via unanimous decision. On June 15, 2024, Whitaker faced Nigerian puncher Ezra Ara in a 10-round fight for a professional title. Ara, known for his knockout power, attempted to unsettle Whitaker with sudden attacks, but Whitaker controlled the pace with sharp counterpunching. Ara absorbed significant damage, and by the fight's later rounds, he was outclassed. Whitaker delivered a series of punishing blows, including a liver shot, which left Ara retreating. Whitaker cruised to a comfortable victory, but critics noted his tendency to hold back, rather than press for a knockout. In October 2024, Whitaker defended his IBF International Light Heavyweight title against Liam Cameron on the undercard of the Bivol vs. Urbia event. Cameron, an experienced and aggressive fighter, pressured Whitaker early, disrupting his rhythm. Whitaker relied on his signature feints and flashy movements, but often wasted energy with unnecessary showboating.
By the second round, Cameron had timed Whitaker's movements, exploiting his defensive tendencies with well-placed jabs and uppercuts. Despite Whitaker landing some clean shots of his own, his flashy movements began to wear on his stamina, and Cameron's relentless attacks exposed tactical flaws in Whitaker's approach. As the fight progressed, Whitaker's inability to fully adapt to Cameron's strategy and over-reliance on flashy but ineffective moves left him vulnerable, culminating in a significant blow in the third round that landed squarely and showcased his limitations. In the fight, Ben Whitaker's over-reliance on upper body movement rather than proper footwork repeatedly left him in compromising positions. Instead of moving his legs first to evade attacks, he leaned on head and torso movements, often leaving his head near the ropes while his feet remained in the ring's center. This beginner-level technical flaw became increasingly apparent as the fight progressed. By the fourth round, Whitaker's flashy but inefficient movements had exhausted him, and Liam Cameron began to dominate, even mocking Whitaker mid-fight. Cameron landed clean combinations, including a straight, overhand and body hook, followed by another overhand for good measure. Whitaker's attempts to smile through the punishment only highlighted his deteriorating state as Cameron landed heavy shots with increasing ease. In the fifth round, Whitaker's frustration was evident. He resorted to low blows and antics like pretending his mouthguard had fallen out to buy time. Exhausted and outclassed, he endured a relentless barrage of body shots. The round culminated in a bizarre clinch that sent both fighters tumbling out of the ring. Cameron quickly returned, ready to fight, but Whitaker claimed a leg injury and was unable to continue. Rather than awarding Cameron a TKO victory or declaring a no contest, the organizers made a controversial decision. Ignoring the fifth round entirely, they only scored the first 4 rounds, resulting in a draw. This highly unusual decision was widely seen as an effort to protect Whitaker's career and maintain his potential as a marketable prospect. The first round was the only one Whitaker might have edged, making the draw feel manufactured. This fight exposed critical flaws in Whitaker's approach. His reliance on speed and flashy moves without proper setups or a solid tactical foundation rendered him ineffective at a mid-tier level. Moreover, his lack of leg movement in defense and overuse of shoulder rolls left him vulnerable to Cameron's increasingly predictable attacks.